Tropical Storm Fred has developed south of Puerto Rico. I'm Mike Naso with the latest on the tropics. This evening tropical update is an active one. We have two features. The first, that system we've been watching moving into the Caribbean finally closed off a low-level circulation at the surface with 40-mile-per-hour winds. That makes it a named tropical storm Fred, sitting here south of the island of Puerto Rico, moving in the general direction of the Dominican Republic. Behind Fred, way out in the Atlantic, we have a new This tropical wave that left Africa has held together very well. It is very impressive, and this should also be a feature that moves on off towards the west and the west-northwest, and that could be a tropical storm or even a hurricane down the line. It is August, and things are heating up. So let's get the latest now on Fred, which is our main focus. As of 11 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time from the National Hurricane Center, Fred was at 17.4 north, 66.8 west, winds of 40, so it's a minimal tropical storm, is currently moving west at 17. This should change back to west-northwest. It's having trouble becoming vertically stacked. When systems are ill-defined and newly formed, sometimes they have trouble. Think of a stack of coins, and you put them all neatly on top of each other, and then push some of them off balance. That's almost what's happening in the mid and lower levels of the atmosphere. So Fred needs to get his act together, but once he does, it could organize over hot water. It should continue to move towards the west-northwest, towards the Dominican Republic. We have a tropical storm warning in effect for Puerto Rico, including Culebra and Vieques, the U.S. Virgin Islands, and the south coast of the Dominican Republic, all the way over towards the east on the north end. Also a tropical storm watch for the Dominican Republic to the Dominican Republic-Haiti border. Haiti, as well as the Turks and Caicos Islands and the Southeastern Bahamas, now under a tropical storm watch. We've already had tropical storm force winds impacting areas in gusts on the south coast of Puerto Rico, and looks like that will continue as the system moves towards the west-northwest. It should make landfall in the next, 8 to 12 hours along the Dominican Republic as a tropical storm, remain a weak and ill-defined tropical storm, and move back out tomorrow night, Wednesday night, and then move through the Turks, Caicos, Southeast Bahamas Thursday, and stay over water, it looks like, all the way into the weekend as it approaches Florida, the Keys, Southeast Florida, and perhaps the Gulf Coast. Cuba, you need to be on the alert. There's a lot of uncertainty, especially after Thursday. So let's just see if it survives this here. If it does, then we'll have to deal with a whole new ball of wax. Here's Fred on the infrared satellite imagery, and you can see it looks like it's kind of compact now over what appears to be the center there bursting. So it has held its own better than many systems I've seen in the Eastern Caribbean Sea, and I'm not really seeing a lot of wind shear. It's a little flat here on the western side, but overall it's in a pretty good upper level environment. I'll show you that in a minute. And you can also see that that convection blowing up is causing some lightning there. So this is a nasty little tropical storm south of Puerto Rico. They are getting those tropical storm force wind gusts. But all of this, including heavy rain, is headed for the areas there of the Dominican Republic. Here's the radar out of San Juan, and you can see we had that tightly coiled center here, and you can see that spin, and then it kind of, it becomes a little disheveled. There's a lot of heavy rain here to the south. This will all be pulling up towards Hispaniola. But I do think that this westward motion, like the Hurricane Center said, is temporary. It should eventually continue towards the west-northwest. And all of this is going to help kind of just bring it to the north. If it was a well-organized hurricane, we would probably see it really fall apart over Hispaniola. These are very mountainous and hilly terrains. However, because it's so weak and ill-defined, it's probably just going to hold a minimum tropical storm until it pops back out over water, and that's what it should do. Here are the computer model guidance. You can see very good agreement. I mean, they're in really tight agreement. This black line, look at right along the northeast coast of the Dominican Republic, Turks, Caicos, north of Cuba, south of the Bahamas, over very hot water, and then they start to diverge a little. Some want to scrape Cuba and pass south of the Keys into the Gulf of Mexico, more towards the North Gulf Coast. Others want to try and pull it into southeast Florida. The general thinking from the Hurricane Center is that this will kind of pool here off the west coast of Florida towards the Big Bend and the Panhandle, an eventual landfall threat in the United States, obviously. But again, it's so far down, we need to see, will it survive Hispaniola? We don't know. Will it be stronger, weaker? We're not sure how the upper level environment is going to be. Some computer models show a fantastic environment in the Straits of Florida. Others show some wind shear. So we just don't know yet how strong it'll be, but something to watch. This is the H-Wharf model. This is the 18Z. And in 90 hours, it shows a potent hurricane over Key Largo and Homestead here and the southeast tip of Florida. So that would be a nasty hurricane landfall. You guys have been kind of lucky. You had Hurricane Katrina. Everybody forgets this because it's been overshadowed. Hurricane Katrina slammed into southeast Florida as a Category 1 hurricane before it ever hit New Orleans. And that was the last time they got a hurricane landfall in this area here of southeast Florida, which obviously, I mean, the Miami Hurricanes. You guys, hurricanes are very, very famous in this area, to say nothing of the Keys. So you guys need to be on the alert and watch Fred very carefully, and we'll be able to zero in on it as it gets better organized. Let's make it through the next 24 hours and let it get north of the Greater Antilles, and then we could get more data about what the environment will be like. The key messages as of 11 p.m., tropical storm conditions for the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico tonight. We've already had gusty winds along the south coast of Puerto Rico, and those will begin in the Dominican on Wednesday morning, and tropical storm conditions possible in northern Haiti and the southeastern Bahamas by late tomorrow, Wednesday night. Number 2, heavy rainfall. Rain is a huge threat, especially in those mountainous areas. Flash urban small stream flooding, rapid river rises, mudslides across the Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, and the Dominican. The greatest flood threat will be across eastern and southern Puerto Rico. They're very susceptible to flooding. Number 3, there is a risk of wind and rainfall elsewhere in portions of Hispaniola, the Bahamas, and Cuba during the next several days. However, that's uncertain since Fred is forecast to interact with Hispaniola, and interest in this area needs to watch it. We don't know exactly, will Fred readjust to the north or to the south? Will it dissipate over Hispaniola? We just don't know. And finally, number 4, there is a risk of wind and rainfall in Florida beginning Friday in the Keys, spreading northward through the peninsula and the Panhandle this weekend. However, it is too soon to determine the exact timing, location, and magnitude of any impacts. Interests throughout Florida should monitor Fred's progress, and you could do that on these updates here. Please subscribe, and we'll be doing frequent updates on Fred. Here's our invest. You can see out here, way out there in the eastern Atlantic, forecast to continue to move generally towards the west or west-northwest. This could be another feature, but again, this is so far out. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days before we'd have it in Fred's location. There's the infrared. It doesn't look as impressive on the infrared, but there is definitely a spin in there, and it's held together very, very well as it's left Africa. There's the Cape Verde Islands up here, so it is far out there. But we're going to watch it very carefully because look at some of these ensemble models. You can see this is just a general idea. They take Fred, here comes our other system, and then you can see everything just lights up in the next 10 days. This is by August 16th, 17th, all the way to August 20th. So our system here off Africa takes a track generally towards land. The Caribbean, the Bahamas, maybe even the southeast U.S. Now that's a long, long way away. We don't have a system yet, but it's probably a good indication to start overlooking your hurricane plans because we're not too far off from the heart of the season. You can see the wind shear, not too bad for it. Fred, you're going to have a little wind shear to deal with, but we still have a lot of questions about what exactly the upper level environment will be for Fred as time goes on. We're going to watch it very carefully, and we'll watch our system out here in the eastern Atlantic as well. Finally, in the Pacific, Kevin weakening and moving on out. We now have Linda here. Linda's forecast to be a powerful hurricane, but thankfully stay away from land. Probably some heavy swells there for Mexico. So that'll do it on Fred and our invest in the eastern Atlantic. Have a good night and see where Fred is tomorrow. It should be over Hispaniola, and we will continue to track it here on the YouTube Tropical Video Update page. I'm Mike Naso. I will talk to you guys next time with more on Fred.